So I want to have the practice be pretty easy, and easy in the sense of ease. So we'll move with ease. So we're working to make some room in the body this morning, clear out. There was a lovely analogy that I read this week about how the path is always there, but leaves accrue. They accrue such that sometimes it's difficult to see the path. And I really think about this practice as being a form of sweeping. And there's no end to the sweeping. You know, if you have a backyard, you know what it's like. So let's have this practice be a sweep. We're looking for what has accumulated or settled that's in the way of the clear seeing. And the clear seeing, I have an example. I have one of my teachers who I appreciate so much, Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche. He comes on Facebook every week, just spends time teaching. And yesterday he came on, he was at a lake, and you could never see him. You saw the lake, and he had found in a tree there was an eagle's nest way up high. You couldn't really see the eagles, but you could hear them, and you could hear this mother eagle, and you could hear this baby eagle, and this baby eagle trying to figure out how to fly, and a lot of dialogue between the two of them. And he just spent the hour having the camera focused on this relationship that we couldn't see, but we could hear. And normally that would make for some really, boring video, but I found it so utterly captivating that here we were with this family relationship. And this morning when I got up, I went into the kitchen and I heard, we have a hawk that visits occasionally, and I heard this hawk, and it comes swooping in on the trees that are over here. And I think it probably is disturbing some of the birds who live there. But I realized, I wonder if I would have heard that hawk, because the quality of attention that he brought to the eagles reminded me of my capacity to be not quite so self-absorbed that I could for a moment hear something just outside my window. So this is what we'll work with today, clearing the way so that we can have a more of an expansive view instead of, you know what it's like. I don't need to tell you. Okay, all right, so shall we? Let's come to puppy pose as we have been doing. Coming down onto the mat. Like child's pose, but tuck your toes under, please. And spread your arms, take them all the way forward so that your elbows are off. And let's draw the hips back. You could come up onto the fingertips if you like. And like you've got wings on your back, spread your breath into upper back particularly. You know how we talk about the bandhas, the pelvic floor lifting. This is a weird image, but imagine that you've got bandhas at the armpits. So there's this little lift in the dome of the armpits. Good. Gradually rise up onto hands and knees. And let's take the left leg back, tuck your toes under. Just simply push back through the heel. Hips are level. And you might take the right knee off the floor if you're feeling a little rambunctious this morning. Yep, just focusing on allowing the left ankle to soften a little bit. And then returning. Right leg back, tuck toes under, feel in. Maybe left leg lifts, maybe not. Just noticing the breath. It's like the breath is sort of like the broom. Good, and we return. Now take your left knee behind your right knee, your feet go wide. Settle the hips back behind you until you find a little constriction. And breathe into that. Good, some of you might take the sit bones to the floor. You know how this goes. Make it your own. And gradually come back up. And let's bring the left leg around. Feet go pretty wide, yeah? And then making your way back. What's it like over here? And as we quietly watch the breath and notice the subtle sensations, maybe not so subtle sensations in the body, see if you can feel the whole space that is your body from fingertips to feet here. Notice what you can feel, what you can't feel so much. Good, and then slowly rise up, unwind your legs. Take your left leg back behind you. Set the sole of the foot on the floor. Sweep the left arm up. Left leg can come up. And then become aware with your senses of the space that's around you. You know, you might be in a living room or a bedroom. You might be outside. See if you can feel the whole space around you. Draw navel to spine. If you wish to take it further, bend your knee, reach back. Begin to peel open. So this is an interesting question, the space inside us and the space around us. Can we be aware of both simultaneously? And inhale back to, well, this posture, and slowly lower. Okay, left knee down, right leg back, right arm like drawing a bow, right leg might go up. Good, draw navel to spine. And feel the shape that your body's taking. And maybe bend the knee, reach back. Use the leg to open. Could invite a longer inhale. And then open out. And return. Good, the fine art of returning. Tuck the toes under. Send your hips up and back behind you. Let's have the knees really bent here first. Yep, in fact, you could have the navel on the spine. Well, that's not said well. The navel not on the spine, the navel on the thighs, belly on the thighs. And then look back at your feet and see if you can stretch the heels over the balls. Soften head and neck just for our purposes right now. Spread the wings, so widen the space between the shoulder blades. And then begin to walk back and forth here. Yep, kind and gentle, please. We'll take the gentle approach to opening. Good, drawing the heels downward. We inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands, step or float forward. Inhale, we lengthen the spine.
Exhale, fold over bent knees. Again, inhale, lengthening. Exhale, fold. Let the head and neck completely go. Good, inhale. Exhale. Now feel your feet root. Inhale, please rise up. Palms touch at the top. Exhale, release the arms. Okay, so from here, will you take your left foot back behind you so that you've crossed your ankles? Sweep the arms all the way up. Interlace at the top. Actually, today, let's go palms facing up. Good, squeeze everything to midline. Inhale. Exhale, over we go. To the left. Notice what the feet are doing. Are the toes gripping, or do we feel pretty rooted into the ground? And we gently coax the body open with a breath. Inhale, we rise up. Exhale, unwind. Right leg back behind us. You could change your fingers if you want. Just a little bit of a shift up there. Inhale, lengthen. Exhaling, over we go. Over we go. Good. Imagine that there is a wall behind you and the legs squeeze. So more stability in the lower body. Good. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, unwind. Good. Releasing into mountain pose, our good friend mountain pose, palms at the heart. Good. So we'll open with the Gayatri mantra. If you know it, please join me. And otherwise, we'll meet at one Om. Om Bhurvubhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Okay, let's take the arms all the way up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding forward, out and down. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, palms down, step back to plank pose. Pause in your plank. We know how this goes. Hug the midline. Good, line up the head with the body. Often it drops a little bit. Push back through your heels. Good. Strong, connected, here we are. We inhale, exhale, knees down, torso down, point your toes back behind you, root the feet, pull the mat, draw the chest up, exhale, slowly lower. So we're sweeping out the top of the lungs with the breath. Inhale, exhale, lower. One more time, inhale up. And just like a snake, just a little bit back and forth, creating a little more space. Yeah. Keep it out of the shoulders. And then exhale, we release. Good. Will you do me a favor? Take your arms back behind you. Lift the whole arm up and the legs up as well. Spread your toes. Lengthen the front body. Lengthen the back body. A couple more breaths. Good. Where are we right now? Just noticing where we are right now. Inhale. Exhale. Down we come. Take one breath. Hands under the shoulders. Tuck toes under. Either through child's pose or back up through plank to downward facing dog. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Place your knees back down on the floor, would you please? Take your left leg back behind you, send the left arm up, and over the ear. Now press the sole of the foot on into the floor. Maybe the right knee lifts off here. You think about the space inside the body now and the space surrounding the body. Good. Knee can also be down, obviously. And we release, left hand to the ground, left knee to the ground, right leg back, right arm up. Good. Hug midline so much that the left knee lifts off the ground. Maybe. You're drawing the whole femur bone up and in. Feel the sole of your right foot. Good. You could stretch the arm over the ear. Feel the whole lateral side open. And we sweep with the breath. Slowly releasing. Come back to downward facing dog, please. Let's inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth because we can. Good. Inhale, nose. Exhale, mouth. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Let's inhale here. Exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands, step or float forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we rise all the way up. Palms join at the top. Stretch upward. Exhale, folding forward, out and down. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, step or float back, lower through the way you do. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, navel brings you back. We steady the breath. Invite, invite. Good, our good friend, steadiness and ease. So useful, yes? We take the right leg back behind us, keeping the hips and the shoulders level. We draw the thigh in close, really close, so close. And then we set the right foot down between the hands. Push back through your left heel. Gradually rise all the way up. Settling downward. Opening up the flexors. Sweeping with the breath. And quieting ourselves such that we're quite aware of the space around us, the sounds around us. Good. Okay, so from here we'll take the left arm under the right arm. Yep, palms join. Let's just pivot the left heel to the ground. You'll notice the right hip comes forward invariably. We invite it back as we slice the air, slowly folding forward. Drawing the right thigh toward the rib cage toward the right thigh. And rest the head. We could rest the head. We could also rest the mind. Yeah, we become really tactile, super interested in what we're feeling without judging it or evaluating it or telling a story about it. Okay, you might bend your right knee a little more, unwind your arms and take the arms back behind you like you're flying. Draw the palms upward. Yes, and it could be awkward. It likely could be awkward. You can place your fingertips on the ground and invite the right sit bone toward the left sit bone a little bit. Draw them together at midline. Some of you might want to hold your own hand behind your back. Well done. And then take the hands to the ground. So we've got the hands to the ground. We've got the right hand on the outside of the right foot, which is a bit problematic, isn't it? Well, it's going to be shortly. So can we lift the right leg around the right hand and then take it back and lower through? Inhale, we open. Exhale back. Settling. And push the feet and the hands away from one another to grow more space. And let the body get really quiet. And rest the mind. Be very aware of the space around us. And the left leg up and back. Stretch up and back. Inhale. Exhale, thigh to rib cage. Don't miss this part. Draw in, so close. Then lightly land the foot. Push back through your right heel. Up we go. Don't we always say root to rise? I love the distinction between, we want to extend and open and expand. And so much of that has to do with drawing in and down, going inside to open out. Good. Use your legs, drawing the big femur bones toward midline. Lower ribs draw in, right arm under left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, slice, slice, slice. Coming down. Now push back through your right heel. Hug, magnet, inner thigh and shoulder. Can we trust the body to support us here as the head relaxes? And the mind relaxes. So we can feel the body breathe moment to moment. Okay, unwind your arms now. Take your left arm through. It may be you've got to keep the fingertips to the floor. The arms go back behind and the palms face up. And we still have got to bring the left femur bone in toward midline. So we're flying here a little bit. And then we place the hands down on the ground. And you see that we've got the left foot on the inside of the left hand. We're going to lift the left leg up and take it back behind us. And either knees and torso down or through the vinyasa. The muscles on the front of the thighs. Push the femur bones up and back, lifting the hips up. Good, spreading across the upper back, widening the upper back. Inhale, exhale, bend your knees. Look past your hands, step or float forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we fold. Now separate your feet hip width apart, grasp big toes with middle and index fingers. Inhale. Exhale, folding. Elbows go wide. Shoulder blades draw up your back. Let head and neck completely relax. So resting the mind, that in of itself, that's a practice we could dedicate our lives to, yeah? Notice when we allow the mind to rest, we become aware of other experiences. Couple more breaths. We inhale, lengthen. Exhale, will you slide your hands now underneath your feet so your toes come to your wrist creases. You can have the knees bent. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, fold and pull. Yep, pull on the arms, press the feet. Lift the hips up however high they're willing to go. Sweep your breath through your body. Good. Go looking for anywhere where there's a lot of holding going on and use the breath to sweep. And inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release the hands. Push the ground away. Slowly we rise. Coming all the way up. Palms join at the top. Exhale, everyone's favorite chair pose, sitting back. Good. We know this business, right? So we want to find somewhere in the middle here, drawing the rib cage and the pelvic girdle toward one another. Extend upward, root downward. And what can we rest in this posture? It's like a slow simmer on the stove. We might play with extending back and down a little more. Then inhale, we come up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, step or float back. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, back, downward dog. Now let's take the right leg back, stack the hips, but let's keep the shoulders level. Bend the knee, the right knee, look under the left arm. And then sweep the right thigh toward the ribs, maybe a kiss of the knee. Land the right foot, turn, pivot both feet out, and take your left sit bone towards your left heel. So the heel could be down on the ground or it could be floating. Depends what yours does. And then this back and forth a little bit here. Some of us hands on the ground, some of us not. Moving with the breath. I've been doing this one a lot lately because the amount of sitting is excessive. Keeping the inner line of the legs strong. It's important. So back and forth. Okay, a couple more. Once you get over to this side, let's pause for a moment, fold forward. So see if you can get the sole of the left foot on the ground by pointing the toes. The right heel is either down or it's not. It's generally how things work. We take the hands forward, fingertips on the ground. We might even bring the forehead toward the mat. And there's a lot of hugging the midline here. It could be very easy to turn this into a passive stretch. But see if we can draw in order to extend. Just drawing your musculature inward toward midline. All right, well done. So take your hands back to the front of the mat, sweep the right leg back, lower through vinyasa if you wish. And settle into the dog again. Allow the mind to rest. Subtle sweeping of the breath through the body. Good. Left leg lifts, shoulders stay level, bend the knee, point the toes, reach through the left leg, and then left thigh to rib cage, foot lands lightly, turn, pivot your feet, toes out in, settle right sit bone down toward the right heel. Yeah, right here. Okay, stay low as we traverse. Yeah, just playing with it. Some of us might be working on, well, how little can we use our hands? Or at what point must we use our hands? That's interesting too. Or do we need our hands as much as we thought? Or we're free with the hands. Maybe the arms can go up as we move back and forth. Okay, so when we come over to the left side, let's pause, take the fingertips to the floor. Now hug the midline, which means that your feet, they're moving on the mat, they're moving toward each other, and then fold. It's like you want to imagine that the flesh of the legs is drawing in towards center. Notice the back of the neck and the top of the shoulders. Make room with the breath. Slowly we rise. Take your hands back to the front of your mat. The leg goes back behind you. Pause and plank. And then gradually lower down onto your belly. And rest on a cheek. And if you let your mind rest here, what in your body can you feel? And is it the case that you become a little bit more aware of the space around you? You know, that's a question. Is it the case? Place the hands under the shoulders, up to hands and knees. Now let's sweep right arm out to the side and up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, right arm underneath, left hand presses. Place the shoulder down into the ground. Left hand can help to twist the rib cage to the left. Some of you tuck your toes under. You could keep both knees down, or if you wish, left leg goes up. Hips are level. Is it possible to rest the skull here? And then in this shape, how quiet can the body become? In whatever shape you've chosen, some of you might go on. So quiet that we almost seem to disappear. Good, and then gradually make your way out of that. Back to hands and knees. Left arm up. Exhale, take it underneath. Good, just let the skull relax. Contact lower navel. Invite the rib cage to the right. And right leg might go back. Long line. Bend the knee. Maybe reach back. And we get really quiet and listen. Yeah, it's such an interesting relationship between when to show up fully and when to get quiet and listen. Good. When you're wherever you are in this posture, become aware of the whole space around you. And then gradually we release. Beautiful. Rising back up onto hands and knees. Take your knees back just slightly. And then very slowly, like we don't want to miss a moment, we slowly make our way down onto our belly. And another pause. Sinking into the pause. So quiet. Isn't this a fascinating time? That's one word for it, isn't it? Where the ways, the old ways that we did things or thought about things, they're not necessarily working anymore. And it's very much, I feel very much like I'm learning about new ways to roll in regard to thought, speech, and actions. It's exciting, actually. It's like a veil being lifted. It does require some listening, and it does require some willingness to be uncomfortable. But wow, there's a shift taking place, and we're part of that. And how can we best support our evolution, yeah? So come up onto the left forearm, please. Reach the legs back, toes are pointed. Reach back for your right foot. Open here first, let the leg draw you back. Just the shoulder releases. Press your right thigh into the ground. And then perhaps internally rotating the right arm such that the hand presses into the foot presses back, the quadriceps, well, I always imagine taffy, I think you know that, become very malleable. Inner heel making its way toward the outer hip. Ask the sternum to lengthen forward, the knee to draw back. And feel in. So humans, we've got this proclivity toward conceptual living, the experience of life being very conceptual, and there's a place for it. Helps us get around. But there's also direct experience. And we are very interested as yogis in direct experience and recognizing when we've returned to the conceptual, the talking about or the stories or the judgments or the opinions. And then feel into the reality of the moment. Good. Releasing. How's that? Okay, good. I'll take that as it was really good. Draw the legs together a little bit. Right forearm. Left knee bends. Reach back. Feel what this is like. We let the mind rest when we wake up the senses. Good, moment by moment. Yeah, you've got your lower navel drawn in, right? So we've pulling open the shoulder in a really kind way, inviting the fascia to lengthen on the inner arm. And then maybe we turn the elbow upward and we draw the heel toward the outside. Mind rests, one way to have the mind rest is by listening or by feeling, expanding our tactile sensory awareness into the space around us and in us. Yeah, we use the senses to support our liberation. Okay, a couple more breaths. And then relax. Yep, resting on the cheek again. Hands under shoulders, tuck toes under or through child's pose. Up we go, back to the dog. Okay, so we're in our downward dog. It feels quite mountainous in its shape, stable and steady. Breath is doing the sweeping wherever there's contraction. Yes, drawing hips up and back. We inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands, step or float forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we fold. Head and neck relax. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, bend your knees, cross your left elbow around your right thigh. So we're in a chair twist here. If this is not comfortable for you, take your left arm to the inner leg and open out. Good, a little bit of wringing out. Good, come back through center, other side, wringing out. Hug to midline. Good, be an invitation. That's generally a powerful principle in life. People tend to be a great deal more open when we're in invitation. Good, then we inhale, rise back up. Exhale, folding forward, out and down. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, step or float back. Take the vinyasa or meet in the dog. Sweep the right leg up and back. Stack the hip, bend the knee. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. If you wish to go on, three-pointed wheel. The left leg could straighten. The legs are so strong, we open out. Sole of the left foot on the ground. Rest the mind. Sweep the body. Right hand lands, sweep right leg up and back. Thigh hugs rib cage. Foot lands lightly. Back heel pivots. Rising up. One breath, warrior one. Exhale, left arm under right. Inhale, open up. Exhale, fold forward. Head and neck relax. Inhale, rise back up. Keep arms as they are. Exhale, left leg forward, wrap it around right leg, sit. Good, yes indeed, this is the baby eagle pose. We slowly fold, cutting the air. Rely on the body to hold you. Is it possible to rest the head and neck and the mind? Good, then slice upward. Exhale, left leg back behind you. Good, okay, still with me? So the ball of the foot's on the ground, slowly fold forward, unwind the arms. Fingertips to the floor, right arm is now underneath the right leg. Draw the sit bones together, hug. Good, look forward, palms down. Right leg, we're gonna sit down on the right arm a little bit. So there's some resistance there. The right arm kicks. If you wish to go on, the right foot could potentially lift off. If you wish to go on from here, we could take the left elbow under the left hip and scoot the legs way out. Good, left foot lands, sweep right leg up and back behind you. Stack the hips, shoulders level. Right foot now to the outside of the left hand. That's what I said, outside of left hand. Sole of the left foot down, opening, peeling open. Strong left leg. Soft jaw. Can we rest here? Good, left hand down, right leg back. Good news, lower down onto the belly. Pause and rest. Feel in. So I've been noticing a lot where I'm able to be present in life and new kinds of challenges that throw me back into conceptual, which means that I'm doing a lot of overthinking. And then the question is, well, how quickly can I drop that and rest and then feel into the present moment again? Or does the spinning continue? Then what's required to allow the mind to rest in the moment? Okay, we know how this goes. It's either downward dog or it's back through plank. And we begin again. Sweeping back behind you. Stack the hips. Shoulders square. Bend the knee. Maybe go on. Three-pointed. Open out. Remember the waterfall. Be the waterfall. Yep, strong back, soft front. Inhale. Exhale, left hand down. Left leg sweeps up. Exhale, thigh to rib cage. Foot lands lightly. Back heel pivots. We come up. One breath, sinking. Exhale, right arm under left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, slice. Inhale. Exhale, invite the midline to a party. Relax head and neck, soften jaw. Inhale, we rise back up. Exhale, right leg forward. Cross, squeeze. Good, be new. Like we've never been here before. Sink in, inhale. Exhale, play now with folding forward by drawing the navel back. Slice. Send your fingers as far away from you as possible. Play with relaxing head and neck. Feel into this. Okay, inhale, we come back up. Exhale, right leg back behind. You're onto the ball of the foot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, releasing, coming all the way down. Take your hands now, left arm under left leg. So this connection here, I've got to push into the thigh pushes back, palms down. Now crawl, 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 left foot forward. Maybe it comes that far. Maybe we're just working on taking flight, lifting the left foot off. Maybe the elbow meets the inner right hip and we spread the wings of the body, which right now happen to be the legs and the top of the head. And then back behind us we go, lower back, down onto the belly. And feel this. Like it's all a buffet. I'm running a meditation intensive right now where we're experiencing the different meditations, much like a buffet. This moment, what's this moment like? Were we here for it? Did we let it seep itself into us so that the outside and the inside were not all that different? In fact, we were there. Okay, so lift the chest forward, please. Bend the knees. Reach back. Find your ankles. If that's not going to work, finding the ankles, fingertips to the floor, work on opening the upper back. Draw navel to spine, inhale. Lift the legs up. Yep, take the shape of the bow. And then can we get quiet in this shape? And we release. And we rest. And let's find our way onto our back, however that works best for you. It's true, we've got a bridge pose in our very near future. And if you have a block around and you'd like to have it be supported this morning, lovely. But we can lift the hips up, the feet are parallel with one another and hip width apart. Press the upper arm bones into the ground. Hug your inner femur bones in toward each other this morning a little bit. So the thighs don't have to be touching, but you've got that sense of real stability so the upper body can open. And feel the space around you kind of hugging and supporting you. Some of you might want to take this further by taking the hands under the shoulders, coming lightly onto the top of the head, and then opening up into wheel. Wherever we are here, let's listen with the whole body. And I think last week I talked about the ears of the heart. We listen with the ears of the heart and we feel in, sensing in. And gradually we come down onto the back of the head, soles of the feet together, knees go wide. Close the eyes. And we open to this space that we're in. Many of us know each other. We could also open to each other. What a privilege it is to get to spend time with you in this way. We release the left leg long and we draw the right knee into the chest. We could turn this into a half happy baby, or we could straighten the right leg, holding the calf if you happen to have a strap, or wrapping around the big toe. Left hand on your hip, root the left leg. And then very gradually open the big wing that is your right leg, keeping the left side completely rooted and hugging midline. And go slow enough to be here for it. So in my practice, there's resting the mind, and then there's resting the mind in the heart, as many of you know. You notice a subtle distinction between those two. Is that possible to feel the difference? Inhale, the right leg comes back up. Exhale, right leg slowly makes its way to the floor, like we're in water. The left leg rises. You might take it as a half happy baby. And you might straighten the left leg. Good, sweeping the breath anywhere along the path of the body that you might find needs it. And then ever so slowly, take your left leg out to the side. Right hand stays on the hip. Feel midline and feel opening at the same time. And slowly we bring the left leg back up, and exhale, we slowly release. Good. Let's just wrap the arms around the chest for a moment and give the body, the torso, you a big hug. You feel the difference between going through the motions and wrapping the arms around the torso and having it be physical, and there's a place for that, or actually giving yourself a hug. You notice when you give yourself a hug that you may have some sensations that arise. For me, there's warmth in the heart area. Okay, so we went one way, switch the arms, give yourself a hug. You know, this business of bringing our whole selves to the party is quite complex because we've got the physical, and we've got our mind, and we've got our heart. The breath, all of us. And then we unwind. Let's lay it down. Let the body completely rest into the ground. Now let the mind rest. And then notice what it's like to rest the mind in the heart. Rest the mind in the heart, and then now the heart mind, as if the heart is listening. It has ears. Can we feel subtly the sensing in the space inside us and the space around us? So I'm going to read you my latest interesting passage by Mark Nepo. Being a pilgrim to journey without being changed is to be a nomad. To change without journeying is to be a chameleon. To journey and to be transformed by the journey is to be a pilgrim. We all start out as pilgrims, wanting to journey and hoping to be transformed by the journey. But just as it is impossible when listening to an orchestra to hear the whole of the symphony for very long before we are drawn to hear only the piano or the violin, in just this way, our attention to life slips. And we experience people and places without being affected by their wholeness. And sometimes feeling isolated and unsure, we change or hide what lives within in order to please or avoid others. The value of this insight is not to use it to judge or berate ourselves, but to help one another see that integrity is an unending process of letting our inner experience and our outer experience complete each other, in spite of our very human lapses. I understand these things so well because I violate them so often. Yet I, as you, consider myself a pilgrim of the deepest kind, journeying beyond any one creed or tradition into the compelling, recurring space in which we know the moment and are changed by it. Mysteriously, as elusive as it is this moment, where the eye is what it sees, where the heart is what it feels, this moment shows us that what is real is sacred. Let's slowly make our way up to a comfortable seat. Drawing the knees into the chest, giving ourselves a hug, a real hug. Rolling to one side, letting the head rest on the arm. Dedicating our practice to those who suffer. May they be happy, and may they be healthy, and may they be free,
And may our thoughts and our speech and our actions be dedicated to that. We slowly make our way up to a seat, maybe with the eyes closed. Feel into the inside of the body. Take a moment to become aware of the outside too. The whole orchestra. Thank you for participating with me today in the art of sweeping. Some would say polishing the mirror. Thankfully, we'll be able to sweep for the rest of our lives. We draw the palms together at the heart. Let's end with our commitment to generosity and integrity, to patience, to joyful effort of practice, to letting go often, and to turning within, to listen to the wisdom that's in here. Om Mani Bring the hands to the forehead, right thought. May we be steady. May we be present. May we be joyful. The hands come to the mouth, right speech. May our words improve upon the silence. And our hands come to our heart, right action. May we be the change that we wish to see. Namaste. What a treat to be with you. It's always a treat to be with you. Okay, so let's go back out there, shall we? Practicing being connected and aware of the whole orchestra. Practicing flying where maybe we don't know how to fly yet. Being gentle with ourselves, being gentle with others. Okay? All right. I send you. Take care.